You've got to take the patience. Scop-a-doodle-doodle-doo.
It was the early 80s. My family and I, most of my family and I, were driving up from Florida. We used to drive down to Florida from Boston in August and drive back up. So we're driving up, like 4 kids and 2 of my parents for this trip. And we get off the Jersey Turnpike and go to a Holiday Inn. And my father's been driving all day, so he's got sort of this kind of crazy edge going. So he's making himself like quite a noteworthy vodka and tonic. So he's on that, and while he's doing that, my mother, brother, and I go to the pool. And we go to the pool, and there are these crazy teenage kids, like lunatics, running all around, jumping off the lifeguard chair, swearing, just going nuts, and there's no lifeguard there on duty. And we're like, what the heck's going on? And then this kid comes storming in off the streets, starts like walking in, he's like in jeans. I mean, he looked like a dude that like would have been the leading role in like a 1981 educational movie about sexual assault. That's the best way to envision this guy. And he starts to go on this other guy, saying, where's my $80? Where are my $80? And they're about to fight. And we come to find out that all these kids there were from a juvenile detention center. And this Holiday Inn would just let these kids, for some reason, swim at the hotel pool a few times a week. No idea why. So we get scared from all this, my mother, brother, and I, and we leave. And it's crazy because I don't know any sort of business that would be that stupid to scare their customers like this. So to this day, I hold the theory that there was some rich group of powerful people who were paying the hotel a lot of money to run some elaborate Lord of the Flies experiment. And if that's the case, then the novel is very accurate, because that's exactly what was happening. So we go back to the pool, or after we have the pool, we go back to the hotel room, and my father is there, and he's like, why are you guys back so soon? And we're like, oh, you know, we were scared because there were all these kids fighting and swearing, and we just got scared. So my father's like, we're going back to the pool. And we're like, we don't want to go back to the pool. Like, we're scared. He's like, no, we're going back to the pool. So we go back down to the pool. And you see, here's the thing. Like, my father, obviously the vodka and tonic didn't take the edge off. And so he had to confront and conclude a punk to take that edge off. And so now the Lord of the Flies experiment is in peril. And we're going back down to the pool, and he goes in there, and it was just gorgeous. As afraid as I was, it was beautiful to see these tiny, you know, tough little sharks in the presence of the great white moving in and just scanning, looking, who am I going to kill? It was gorgeous. And he's looking around, and he sees one kid. And now before I go on, you got to realize how he's dressed. He's in this, he always had this like Jimmy Connors tennis outfit on, because we had a tennis court, and he would have like the tennis shoes on with the socks climbing up his shins 8 inches, the tiny little tennis shorts, and the tennis top. And even if there was no danger of any tennis breaking out that day, he would still have that outfit on. It was amazing. So that's what he's looking like. He's looking like as he's looking at all these like crazy kids swimming around. And one kid he's looking for the ringleader, and he sees him, and his kid starts swearing his mouth off. My father hates 2 things. He hates a lot of things, but he really hates punks, and he hates people that swear in front of his kids and his family. And so my father looks at the ringleader swearing his mouth off, and the kid, for some reason, starts swimming across the other end of the pool, because my brother and I are just swimming in the pool, and we're so nervous, and we don't want to be there. So this kid is on the other end of the pool, and he's swimming over. And like this kid's swearing his mouth off like he's like an Olympic gold medalist swearer. It was amazing, the commitment this kid had to swearing. And he comes over to my father, like he had no idea what he was doing. It looked like a crappy sci-fi movie where like some little hapless tiny spaceship is getting sucked in by a tractor beam into like this ominous evil mothership. That's like what it looked like. And he comes over and he puts his hands on the ledge of the pool like he's going to get out. And my father stands over the kid and he looks down at him and he puts his foot onto his fingers and starts gently grinding the kid's fingers into the concrete. Not enough to injure them, but just enough to scare them. And he looks down at him. He's like, listen to me, you little punk. My kids are trying to enjoy themselves in the pool, and they don't need to hear you swearing your mouth off. And while this is going on, my brother and I are just so afraid at all of this that what we do, like we're trying to stay underwater and hold our breaths for as long as we can while this is going on, because we feel like it's the only safe place. And I remember being underwater and looking up at my father, like through the water. So it was like this crazy Salvador Dali painting or whatever. It was like all contorted and everything. This vision of my father going like this, looking at the kid. And we come back up and the kid just, we see him swimming away like he was definitely a changed soul after that experience. And then for the first time in the day, I see my father just smile a little bit. And I knew at that point that he, in his Jimmy Connors tennis outfit, could retire peacefully for the night. So that was that. Kid, I hope you learned your lesson. I hope you don't swear anymore.